Hey eBay friends, it's Suzanne A. Wells. Thank you for coming back for another video. Today is September 29th, 2017, and I wanted to share with you 5 strategies for buying inventory when thrift store prices are too high. This is a common problem out there. I've experienced it myself. I stop going places when their prices are too high to turn the desired profit on eBay, and I will agree that Goodwill is just getting ridiculous with what they're charging. When I started doing this, it was around 425, 450 for shirts, pants, skirts, all of the basic items, and now they're up to $6 on shirts, pants, skirts. Dresses are almost $8. And you don't have to buy from the big chains. There are other options. So let's go over that. High thrift store prices can often mean you cannot make a profit on eBay. So maybe you live in an area where it's affluent. It may be a community or a city or a town, and the thrift stores are getting more aggressive with their pricing, and you just can't buy things for what you used to, and you definitely can't turn them for the same profit on eBay. And I don't think it's so much the thrift stores are wise to resellers coming in and buying and reselling, because a lot of them have their own accounts on eBay, and they'll print out the eBay prices and have them displayed, and they can go on eBay and sell their stuff too. But I think we're going to see a rebound on this at some point, where like Goodwill and Salvation Army is going to realize that they're going to make more money on volume if they keep their prices down, because if we don't buy their stuff within a certain amount of time, they've got to move it out of there, and it goes on to the next stage in the system, whatever that is, being bundled and sold in pallets or whatever. So I think they're still kind of trying to find their sweet spot on pricing, and who knows, prices may go back down again. Resellers online and on YouTube often talk about they don't want to share their secrets. They don't want to tell people they're selling on eBay because it's going to create too much competition and thrift store prices are going to go up. And I just don't think eBay is totally to blame for that. I think more and more people are smarter with their money. They're recycling, they're repurposing, they're buying used, they're rejecting the traditional walk into a retail store and buy it at the full price kind of mentality. There's so much about saving and couponing and like retail me not and getting discounts that that's the mentality that some people have, and I think it's great. So let's see what happens, but until then, there are some strategies. Now, I have worked with many clients over the years since 2009, when I started working with people to help them with their eBay, who live in areas where thrift store prices are just too high. I hear this all the time in California, that they can't buy anything from their thrift stores and sell it to make a profit. So what can I do? So I compare this to a saying I love. It's really about relationships. Cheryl Richardson is a life coach I follow. It says, stop going to the hardware store for milk, meaning stop investing in people that don't reciprocate. But this is kind of applicable to high-priced thrift stores. Stop trying to go there and doing the same thing over and over again if you're not getting results. If thrift stores prices are too high, don't go there anymore. Don't look at those anymore. We've got to find other options. So it's not going to benefit you in any way to get frustrated and upset. You've just got to find another way. When they zig, you zag, and that's all there is to it. So here are some of the solutions we have found for this problem over the years. Number 1, educate yourself about what is around you, beyond the big chains like Goodwill, Salvation Army, and Savers. Those are not the only players in town, I guarantee it. There may be stores out there you don't know about. So I encourage you to go to this site called thethriftshopper.com. Again, that is thriftshopper.com. It is a national thrift store directory, and you can put your zip code in and your state or a city and state, and it will bring up all the thrift stores it knows of, because people send in information about new thrift stores as they pop up, so they'll be in this directory. But they've got over 12,000 charity-driven thrift stores, which is important because when it's a charity, the merchandise, the inventory is donated, and that keeps their costs down. So this directory is huge. If you don't know about it, you definitely want to go check it out. I just put in a zip code near my sister who I was visiting recently, 28215 in Charlotte, and it pulls up Carolina Value Village, Junior League Warehouse, another Value Village, Habitat for Humanity Restore. That's a great place to check out for home decor. They have all kind of little knick-knacky things. You might find things in there that could work. Bargain Hunters, another Goodwill, a few more Goodwills, a Salvation Army, another Habitat Restore, and then something called the Assistance League. So this is just an example of there may be all kind of things hiding around you that you don't know. Little church thrift stores, smaller charity thrift stores. And the only way you're going to know if they'll work for you is to go check them out. Because I go to this one little church thrift store that it's not very big, and I wouldn't drive out of my way to go to it. It's just very near my house, so my apartment. So I drop by there all the time just to see what they have, and everything's $1. So you can't go wrong. Even if I go 3 times a week, I still get plenty of things to sell. And that doesn't compare to Goodwill. I don't have to go on a special day to get a special sale. Everything's $1 all the time. And they just really don't care what things are worth. They just, everything's $1, and that raises money for their mission. It's a Methodist church, and the little ladies are in there working and going through the donations and putting things out, and their store looks very nice, and it's good volunteer work for people, and it raises money for their missions ministry. So there's all kind of things like that around you that you may not be aware of. Goodwill and Salvation Army and Savers are not the only players in town, so you can work around that. Okay, number 2. Maximize your discounts, sales, and special offers by being prepared. I mentioned in another video that I keep a sheet like this, a chart with all of my thrift stores and the days their sales are, so that I don't ever have to think about where I'm going. So if I need more inventory and it's Thursday, I've only got one choice. That's where I've already figured out where I can go to get the lowest price. If you are able to get the senior discount, you want to put that on your chart. What day is that and where? If you're military and you can get a discount for that, I know that Goodwill does offer military discounts in Georgia at, I think it's on Thursdays. I'm not 100% sure, so check that out on their website. But you can make a chart like this for yourself and go ahead and figure out where the sales are. Like Sundays is Goodwill color change, so they switch over to their new color, and everything in that color tag is 50% off. So that's the best day to find the most that is going to be marked down. And the same with another store we have here called Park Avenue. Then Mondays, our Value Village color change happens. There's another thrift store called America's Thrift. They do their color change, and that's the best day to find the markdowns, is the day they change the color. You'll have the most choice. Then I've got a consignment store that does clearance every other Tuesday. I go there and can pick out all kind of great bargains. So you get the idea. But you'll need to make this chart for yourself, because only you know your discounts, if you're senior citizen, if you're military, what stores have what on what days, but you want to figure it out ahead of time so there's no guesswork. You don't have to think. You already know where to go on what day to get what for the lowest price. And that's the key to making your money when you buy, not just when you sell. You've got to get it as cheaply as possible. So be mindful, be intentional with your shopping, and think through how you can get the best deals. Okay, number 3, I just mentioned this. I've got an entire video on consignment stores. Now, what I'm saying here is you want to scope out the consignment stores in your area and figure out when they do their markdowns for clearance. Their floor space is very limited. They only want in-season stuff. So things that don't sell, they've got to do something with it. A lot of times they donate it, and they have a charity they donate it to, but if you go in, you may be able to negotiate that. I have a friend in our mastermind group, Sandy, who did that last week, and she got a great deal. So she'd never done it before. She went to one of her consignment stores, and she told them that she's a reseller. She's interested in buying in bulk. When they clearance things out, what kind of deal could they get? And the owner gave her 30% off. So she was getting things for around $3, which was cheaper than her Goodwill because she's in a small town and doesn't have a lot of choices. And luckily, or maybe it was fate, the owner of that consignment store had a friend who had her own consignment store, and Sandy's going to go see that person to find out if she can do the same thing. So she worked up a deal by being creative, and yes, consignment store prices can be high, but the good thing about them is they've already looked over everything. It's clean. It doesn't have anything wrong with it. It's good brands, and they have limited floor space, so they cannot keep everything in there for very long. So I will put a link to my video about that at the top. Okay, number 4, learn to use Facebook buy and sell groups. You can set up alerts for specific items and snag deals quickly. So this is an hour long of information. I have a class on how to do this, so I'll put the link to that below the video, but it's a 60-minute course on exactly how to use Facebook groups to buy and sell for eBay. And this is a fantastic resource. Sometimes there's tens of thousands of people in these groups, and you can get all kinds of stuff, and I do it myself. Okay, number 5, cherry pick stuff off of eBay that is priced too cheap, started on 99-cent auctions, or presented badly. Millions of items go unsold on eBay every day for this reason, because they're presented badly or they're on auction and nobody bids on them. So you can use this to your advantage. You can leverage that. And I call this virtual picking. Instead of going to a store, you're doing it online. You can do this anytime, anywhere, on a computer or a phone. You just have to understand a few strategies of how to do it. This is another class I have. And I do these classes because these are solutions to problems. And my classes are just like my videos. They're very, very focused. They're laser focused on one topic, very detailed, and show you the exact steps to do things. So this course is 75 minutes of exactly how to go on eBay and buy things to flip. And I created this course for my disabled clients who have a hard time getting out, or their caregivers and they can't leave people. They've got to figure out how to do things online because they're caring for a loved one all day and they just can't get out. Or people in rural areas that just don't have much around them to purchase, so they do it online. So this was created after years of hearing people with this pain of, I can't find stuff to sell because of X situation. So this is the information of how to do that. So you just have to think outside the box and work around the high price thrift stores. They're not the only players in town. I guarantee it, even if you're in a small town, there are solutions to this problem. There's all kinds of cheap inventory out there. You just have to know how to find it. So I hope this has helped you. Would love to hear your comments on these strategies if you've tried these things. And subscribe to my channel if you're not already. If you are a subscriber, thank you so much for coming back. I appreciate you watching, and have a great day on eBay. Bye.